I dim the lights in the living room to match the shade of this sudden gloom. I put our favorite vinyl on the tray, the one we used to melt the world away. I reached my hand out to the empty air. For a second I could swear that you were there, but the moonlight's playing tricks upon the wall, and I'm just waiting for a ghost to call. The floorboards hum beneath my feet, the bitter rhythm feels so sweet. I'm closing my eyes to see your face, lost in the hollow of this space. I'm dancing with a shadow tonight, spinning in the flicker of a dying light. There's no heart beating against my chest, just a cold wind where your head used to rest. I'm holding on to nothing, holding on tight. I'm dancing with a shadow tonight. The perfume on your collar's getting faint, like a faded masterpiece of oil and paint. I step to the left, I sway to the right, guided by the memory of a better night. I whisper, don't leave, to the velvet dark, but the silence is biting a frozen spark. Every turn I take just brings me back to the silhouette of everything I lack. 1, 2, 3, and a step for the pain. 4, 5, 6, let it pour like a rain. I'm leading a partner who isn't there, chasing the scent of you out of the air. I'm dancing with a shadow tonight, spinning in the flicker of a dying light. There's no heart beating against my chest, just a cold wind where your head used to rest. I'm holding on to nothing, holding on tight. I'm dancing with a shadow tonight. The music's over now, but I'm still swaying. Just me and the dark, just me and the ghost of us, dancing with the shadow until the morning breaks the spell tonight. I left the curtains open wide to see the ghost you left behind. The dust is settling on the floor right where you walked out of the door. I still buy coffee made for two, then realize I'm not serving you. The clock is ticking on the shelf, I'm getting tired of myself. Now it's just echoes in an empty room, the sound of a heart that ended too soon. I'm screaming your name at the four white walls, but nobody answers and nobody calls. Just a hollow vibration, a shadow, a gloom, living with echoes in an empty room. Your side of the bed is cold and flat. I haven't had the heart to change that. I find your hairpins in the rug and crave the ghost of every hug. The silence here is getting loud, like thunder hiding in a cloud. I talk out loud to pass the time, to prove this life is still half mine. The floorboards creak like they're missing your feet. The air in the hallway is bitter and sweet. I'm chasing a resonance, catching a spark, but I'm just a girl dancing alone in the dark. Now it's just echoes in an empty room, the sound of a heart that ended too soon. I'm screaming your name at the four white walls, but nobody answers and nobody calls. Just a hollow vibration, shadow, a gloom, living with echoes in an empty room. Empty room. Empty room. Empty room. Can you hear me? Or am I just sound bouncing off the walls until I'm not found? Echoes. Just echoes. I took your picture off the bedside stand. It felt like lead inside my shaking hand. The space you left is finally getting small. I'm washing every shadow off the wall. The sweater that I wore to feel your skin is in a box where memory begins. I used to think I'd die without the ache, but I'm still breathing for my own damn sake. I'm finally letting go of us, turning all this gold back into rust. I'm tired of the ghost that haunts the hall. I'm tired of waiting for a ghost to call. It's a long way down, but I've hit the dust, and I'm finally letting go. I walked the park we used to call our own, and for the first time I felt fine alone. No looking back to see if you were there, no catching sense of you inside the air. The wheel's gone, it's back to you and I've run out of the tears I had to cry. I'm deleting every message, every thread, killing every word we ever said. It's not a tragedy, it's not a war. I just don't need the burden anymore. The bridges burn, the ashes in the wind. This is where the after can begin. I'm finally letting go of us, turning all this gold back into rust. I'm tired of the ghost that haunts the trust me. The air feels lighter than it used to be. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. Goodbye to us. I stood in the kitchen and watched the light hit the floor while you gather your things and headed straight for the door. No shouting, no screaming, no slamming of wood, just a silence that understood more than it should. I felt a hairline fracture start deep in my chest, a tiny white line putting love to the test. You didn't even notice the crack or the slip as the world started losing its grip. Because glass heart shatters so quietly, no thunderous crash for the neighbors to see. It's a soundless explosion, a splinter of ice, a soul paying double for a one-time price. You're looking for wreckage, you're listening for noise, but I'm losing my breath and I'm losing my poise in the dead of the night, in the space where we be. Glass hearts shatter so quietly. There are shards in the carpet and stars in my eyes, but you're checking, you're watching and avoiding the whys. If I were made of porcelain, you'd hear the snap. If I were made of iron, there'd be a thunderclap. But I'm transparent layers, I'm polished and thin, and the damage is hidden deep under the skin. You think that I'm holding, you think that I'm fine, as I disintegrate one jagged line at a time. Don't step too close, don't try to sweep up the mess. The edges are sharper than you'd ever guess. It's a beautiful ruin, a crystalline sea, and there's no way to put back the pieces of me. Yeah. Glass heart shatters so quietly, no thunderous crash for the neighbors to see. It's a soundless explosion, a splinter of ice, a soul paying double for a one-time price. You're looking for wreckage, you're listening for noise, but I'm losing my breath and I'm losing my poise in the dead of the night, in the space where we be. Glass hearts shatter so quietly. Not a sound, not a break in the air, just a million pieces scattered everywhere. You didn't hear a thing, did you, baby? Just the wind in the trees and the sound of me breaking quietly. staring at my reflection in the hall, but I don't recognize the girl at all. There's a jagged line running down my spine, where your heartbeat used to settle into mine. I reach for your hand when the car goes fast, forgetting that we're living in the past. Now the bed is a desert, the house is a cave, and I'm just a ghost that you couldn't save. I'm walking in circles, I'm leaning to one side like a sinking ship against a heavy tide. I got your habits and I got your phrases, but I'm lost inside these dim spaces. Half of me is missing, half of me is gone. Left with the sunset, never saw the dawn. I'm a broken sentence, a song without a key, searching for the part of you that took the part of me. I'm stumbling through the dark, trying to be strong, but half of me is missing, and I've been gone too long. I cooked your favorite dinner by mistake, then I realized how much room that it would take to fill the silence where your laughter used to sit. Now I'm just a candle with a broken wick. I see you in the window of every passing bus, the phantom limb of what became of us. I try to stand up straight, I try to hold my breath, but losing you felt like a living death. They say that time will stitch the skin back whole, but there's a massive crater in my soul. How do I learn to breathe with just one lung? How do I sing the songs we never sung? 'Cause half of me is missing, half of me is gone. Left with the sunset, never saw the dawn. I'm a broken sentence, a song without a key, searching for the part of you that took the part of me. I'm stumbling through the dark, trying to be strong, but half of me is missing. Half of me is wandering the streets tonight. Half of me is looking for the light. I'm just a fragment, a piece of a person. Half of me is missing, and it's only getting worse. I caught your ghost in the rearview mirror, a flicker of a light, then you disappeared. I'm driving through streets where we used to belong, but the rhythm is off in our favorite song. The passenger seat is a hollow space, just a shadow where I used to touch your face. Now you're just a memory in motion, a blur in the rain, a fading emotion, a dull kind of pain. I'm chasing the taillights of all that we were through the fire. stuck in the yesterday. I reach for the radio to kill the quiet, but the silence is loud like a mid-city riot. I passed the cafe where we carved our names. Now it's just brick and some flickering flames. The miles are adding up, the tank's running dry, but I can't find a place for this goodbye. Are you miles ahead or a world behind? Are you pacing the hallways inside of my mind? You're a trick of the light, you're a turn in the road. You're the heaviest heart and the light. Keep driving, you're just a flicker now, a ghost in the high beams, just a memory in motion, moving on without me. I spend all night folding every page, trying to find the words to turn the stage. I wrote our names in a perfect crease, searching for a moment of some fragile peace. I stood on the edge of the old stone wall, waiting for the wind to take the call. But the sky turned gray and the air grew cold. The story ended before it could be told. Now we're just paper planes in heavy rain, watching the ink bleed out into the drain. We were meant to soar, meant to touch the blue, but the weight of the storm is pulling through. Folding under pressure, tearing at the seams, drowning out the pulse of our paper dreams. You can't fly high when the clouds are gray and paper planes just melt away. Survives. One wing is heavy, the other is torn. Born for the sky, but killed by the storm. The pavement is covered in white and gray. Where we used to fly, we just decay. If the sun had stayed, we'd be miles from here, gliding on a breeze, crystal and clear. But gravity's a ghost and the rain is a lead. The forevers are already dead. tea's gone cold, practicing stories that'll never be told. The neighbors are laughing through the thin drywall, while I'm over here learning how to stand tall. I pull on my sweater, I tighten the thread to keep all the I miss yous inside of my head. If I don't make a sound, then I don't have to break. But my chest is a fever, a dull kind of ache. My lips are a seal, my teeth are a cage. I'm turning the leaf, but I'm tearing the page. You think that I'm fine, cause I'm playing it cool, but I'm drowning in quiet, a deep, heavy pool. Can't you hear the way I'm screaming your name, without making a sound, without lighting the flame? It's a riot in the static, a crash in the dark, the sound of a girl falling completely apart. You look in my face and you see a clear sky, but silence is my loudest cry. Yeah, silence is my loudest cry. Store and I move like a ghost. The things that I want are the things I lost most. The cashier is smiling, ask how is your day. I nod and I pay and I just walk away. Behind my expression a hurricane blows, but nobody sees it and nobody knows. The volume is surging, it's hitting the peak, but I've lost the courage to open and speak. It's a deafening weight, it's a roar in my ears, the accumulated salt of 1,000 dry tears. If I let out one breath, I might never stop. The glass is so full, it's about to drop. Can't you hear the way I'm screaming your name, without making a sound, without lighting the flame? It's a riot in the static, a crash in the dark, the sound of a girl falling completely apart. You look in my face and you see a clear sky, but silence is my loudest cry. Listen close. Do you hear that? That's the sound of me breaking. That's the sound of the end. It's so quiet in here, so loud. Silence is my loudest cry. The wallpaper's peeling in the corner of the room. The television's flickering, chasing out the gloom. I've memorized the pattern of the shadows on the wall, waiting for the silence to be broken by your call. I know I should be sleeping, or at least be moving on, but I'm tethered to this dial tone until the break of dawn. And I'm still waiting by the phone, like a fool on a line, begging for a second of your interrupted time. Every buzz is a heartbeat, every ring is a prayer, but the screen stays dark and you're never there. It's a heavy kind of haunting, being left all alone, just a ghost in the hallway, still waiting by the phone. I checked the signal strength 100 times today, as if the lack of bars was why you stayed away. kept it casual and light, so you wouldn't hear the wreckage of my Saturday night. But the digits are frozen, the museum of us, and my patience is turning to charcoal and dust. Maybe your battery died, maybe you're out of range, maybe you're waiting for me to say something strange. But the truth is a static that's filling my ears. I'm calling out mercy through a forest of fears. Yeah, I'm still waiting by the phone, like a fool on a line, begging for a second of your interrupted time. Every buzz is a heartbeat, every ring is a prayer, but the screen stays dark and you're never there. It's a heavy kind of haunting, being left all alone, just a ghost in the hallway, still waiting by the phone. A heartbeat, every ring is a prayer, but the screen stays dark and you're never there. It's a heavy kind of haunting, being left all alone, just a ghost in the hallway, still waiting by the phone. Hey, yeah, no message. 4 a.m. just the dial tone. I'm staring at the glow until my eyes turn to stone. Are you ever gonna call? Or am I just talking to the air? Still waiting, still right here. Pour the coffee into 2 blue mugs again. One stays steaming, untouched by a friend. I went to move your shoes away from the door, but I couldn't bear to see the empty space on the floor. The radio's playing that song about June, the one you used to hum just a little out of tune. It's not that I'm waiting for the handle to turn, it's just that I'm surrounded by the lessons I didn't wanna learn. You're not in the hallway, you're not in the bed, you're not in the future, you're just in my head. But there are traces of you everywhere else, in the den, in the cushion, in the books on the shelf, in the smell of the rain on a Tuesday night, in the way that the shadows catch the morning light. I'm a ghost in a house that belongs to someone else, 'cause there are traces of you everywhere else. pocket of my coat, a grocery list and a messy little note. Don't forget the lemons written in your hand. Now I'm staring at the citrus, trying to understand how a person can vanish and leave so much weight in the mundane things that I used to hate. I tried to scrub the floors, I tried to paint the walls, but the echoes of your laughter still haunt the halls. I'm living in a museum of a life we used to share. I'm gasping for a breath of some brand new air. Traces of you everywhere else, in the tent, in the cushion, in the books on the shelf, in the smell of the rain on a Tuesday night, in the way that the shadows catch the morning light. I'm a ghost in a house that belongs to someone else, 'cause there are traces of you everywhere else. The car keys on the counter, the dent in the pillow, the silence in the kitchen, traces of you everywhere else. Everywhere on a single